Hi, friends. Welcome to our awesome morning magic session today. So much love in my heart this morning. So much sparkles here. So just wow, feeling super blessed. I woke up with the biggest smile on my face today. Here comes the garbage man in case anyone has anything to offload right now. Go ahead, add it in. Good morning. Hi, Shelly. Good morning. Good afternoon, Carol. Yeah, happy day, sparkle happy day. Good morning, Jeffrey Hallett. Hello. Tossed it in. Yeah, good. It's awesome. So I hope you brought a cup of yum yum today. I am using all the good mugs that I usually keep for friends on the journey right here. So this is one of my favorites. You are special today. So every time I hold it up, that's for you. And I got the same message for me on the other side. Somebody was smart when they did that. Good morning. So cheers. And I've got rose tea, my favorite Tulsi rose. Cheers to you. Cheers to another day. Cheers to choosing. Cheers to, this journey. Cheers to being awake. Cheers. Good morning, Stuart. Hello. So, friends, did you choose a word of the day today? Did you pick something special for yourself? I'm a bit surprised by my word, to be honest, but it's a beautiful one. Hi, Josie. It's a beautiful one. So I hope that you also were remembering this morning. Hug yourself, love yourself, remind yourself, and get present with yourself, your correct self, right? And then begin the day, and then choose your word. I love that. Easy. That's a beautiful word. Yesterday my word was better. Today it's best. Oh, that's genius. And it is amazing how we align to words, as I'm getting better at remembering mine too. Healing, easy, honor, practice, know, grateful. My word today is Christ. The Christ self, Christ consciousness. I was very surprised, but I keep offering these up, just like tell me, just for fun, tell me what my word is, and that's what popped in, and it's like there's no take backs on that word. You can't be like, no, not saying that, you don't want to do that, so I'm not going to do that. Love. Your word today is free. I love that. Hi, Anna. Good morning. Good morning. So welcome once again to Morning Magic, and hello on the replay. If you chose a word of the day, I want to know what it is, and always we're riding together, my friends. So beautiful messages for us today. Beautiful messages. And shoot, I forgot my poetry book. I may have to ask for my expert helper down in the laboratory to bring me a certain book. Melanie, my word today is synthesis. I didn't choose it. It woke me up at 4:44. It's funny how that happens, isn't it? And we were up at the same time, I noticed. So I love that too. Christ is an epic word. Thank you. I felt a little, I never feel nervous about it in my private self, ever, but it's still healing those edges out in public is always a tricky thing for me. So I'm happy to have a safe pond to swim around with you in and talk about it here. Right? So, you know what? I'm going to look. You can see me walk off. Hold on one second. Faithful servant and all that. Here it is. Imperial. Do you remember that commercial? Here I am. Sometimes my commitment is really, really strong to follow spirit. And sometimes that means you have to walk off and get a book because it's going to make you nuts otherwise. So stay tuned for a little something coming up. Good morning, Bex. So, long time ago, I made a decision to follow my intuition, to honor my knowing always. This has a point. This is relevant for today, for you, for today, for our posse. People ask me all the time, how did you develop your intuition? And it's like, through the school of hard knocks, through knowing stuff and not listening, through sensing a vibe about something and pushing myself to do it anyway. Lots and lots and lots of hard knocks. And at some point, you fall down enough, you scrape your knees enough, you get whacked in the head enough, you have things go horribly wrong enough, and you realize, I knew it, and I want to get better at whatever that is. You know what I'm saying? I hope you can relate to this. I want to get better at that. I don't want to just have the satisfaction afterwards of saying, I knew that, and I want to avoid harm and hardship and challenges. I want to avoid conflicts and bad dinner parties and all of that stuff. So I sort of made a vow to myself, to spirit, and asked for guidance, asked for assistance. And if you study the Course in Miracles, I came to the Course a while back now. Let's not get into the years, but Jesus is the author of that. The energy, the Christ consciousness is what channeled that book through Helen Schuckman. So, you're doing your practices and making your prayers to your brother. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to listen. I'm going to find out what it's like to fling myself into the abyss of, it hasn't happened yet, but this is my sensation. I'm going to trust it. And the best things ever is that, you know what? There was always a reason. There was always a truth to it. And then there was always, you know what I'm saying? You later on, you realize why. So it's been my policy for so long now that if it comes to me, I'm going to do it. If it is told to me, I'm going to share it. If it's a book, it says read a book, read a poem, I'm going to do it. And so sometimes, it's funny today because I couldn't find the book. And I'm standing here like yada, yada, yada. But I just went, it was right where I thought it would be. You know how that is? So good. So that's how you develop your intuition. You're wildly intuitive too. You know things all the time too. And it's just daring ourselves to listen and follow our gut. And for a long time, I kept what I call the psychic journal while I was practicing, developing my skill, writing things down, sensing things. And then one day I just began, even in my sessions, I wasn't so guarded about things I was sharing, things that were coming to me. Thank you. I appreciate hearing that because I always get self-conscious at the same time as I'm telling these stories, and I just keep going because, this is the practice in action. But right now I'm nervous in here. I'm judging it in here too, but I trust. And then I'll say things, this might seem weird, but I'm hearing this song and somebody else will say, oh my goodness, here's the thing about that song for me. So you learn to trust. And today is one of those days for you to trust that inkling, that knowing, that hit, that I just got a hit. I just feel something about it. Thank you. That's helpful to hear. And good morning, friends, just hopping on. Feel free to share your words still. Yeah, it's like, I'm going to trust it. I'm going to trust it. I'm going to trust it. So you can practice today. It's one of those days where we're being asked, I've got some great messages for us today. We're being asked to tune to that light in us, the one who's connected to all of everything, all that is. You don't have to be religious-y about it. It doesn't matter. You can just tune to the one, who created the birdies. How did that happen? These beautiful flowers, these amazing colors that are always in perfect harmony. How did that happen? Tune to that energy and trust what you're getting, and don't be so hard on yourself. You can change your word. You get to change your word. What was your first word again? Add listen to the end of it. It's like when we crack open the fortune cookies, when we used to do Chinese takeout, and you'd always read the fortune and then say in bed at the end. Did anybody else do that? Just put listen on the end of your word. Christ, listen. Easy, listen. Yeah, so, spectacular, listen. It's all good. We are so amazing. We are so amazing. We are miracles. You know that? We are miraculous. We are miracles. That's who we are. And, it's easy to tune to the ego in us, the fearful one in us, the one, like I say right now, as I'm talking out loud, I'm thinking other thoughts too. They're not very friendly about me sometimes. They're worried. They're, judgy. They get nervous. And yesterday I shared a post of a little altar I made to record the podcast for next week. Because the whole time I'm doing the podcast, I'm worried. I sound like a freak show, but I also know that one in me who's connected to multiverses, who comes from God, who's enlightened because she remembers. That's who I'm going with. That's who I'm, going to dance with, the one who brung me, right? That's who I'm going with. So if you still have boogery thoughts about you or other people, no worries. That's not all of you. You know that, right? You know that, right? That's not all of who you are. The one in you who's afraid, who doubts, the one who's stressful, angry. I got a letter from a friend in our posse, and, she was like, I'm homeschooling 3 kids and working my full-time job all from home, and she's a single parent, and she was being so hard on herself for screaming. It's like, no, you are amazing, and somebody needs to tell you more often how amazing you're doing and how it's okay. This energy is here, and we're practicing today. We're practicing with these vibes, but to remember it's not all of you is a lot. So whatever you've been hard on yourself about today or judging yourself for, last week in the podcast I said, thank you, pizza. Thank you, beer. Whatever we get hard on ourselves about. Thank you, Netflix. Bless it. Let's try blessing it today. Give it the blessing. If you've been afraid about stuff, thank you. Thank you. Try it and see, because, how do you do? Speaking of Christ, behold, I make all things new. How do you do that if you can't acknowledge it? If you can't bless it, how will you make things new for yourself? It's just a question. Yeah, to all of you, I say hugs, 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 because each one of us is operating under a certain kind of energy, We're operating under a certain energy that it can be intense. So you deserve all the credit, all the sparkles, all the stars, all the pluses next to the A's. You do. Even if you don't accept that, I'm still giving it to you. Yeah, you forgot that yesterday. The blessing! I can't say it without that. So, good morning. Nice to see you. So today, bless the mess, baby. Bless the mess. Bless the mess. Bless the nest and bless the mess. Good. Thank you. That is the next level. You know what? Are we going to love ourselves fiercely or not? It's a question. Yes or no? If it's yes, then all of what you've said, all of what you've done, the way you're so hard on yourself, the way I'm so hard on, I'm sorry, let me speak for me and not say it to you, the way I'm so hard on myself. I'm going to love me. I do love me. I think I'm amazing. I think you're amazing too. So today, would you get on with this? No, this has been so good. I would rate this one 5 stars, by the way, this session today. Today is choose once again. Choose once again. Choose once again. That's the message today. And it's funny. I was telling Jeff, number one husband, I was laughing that I said, I said, look, I wrote all this down, and then sometimes I like to open the Course in Miracles like an oracle. Open it to the page, and it's the exact freaking message. And I'm like, that is hilarious. And every now and then I'll pull a card. So today I pulled a card for us too, just for fun, because we're amazing and we deserve all the treats and delights. This is the Alana Fairchild Sacred Rebels Oracle. I love this one. And it was the same message again. So, it's like, yeah, it's good. You have confirmation here. So here we go. You have confirmation. Choose once again. Choose once again. We're always making a choice. If you could just take your head for a minute, take your mind for a minute. I'm always thinking, aren't I? Aren't you? Thank you, my friends. You guys are the best. Thank you so much. Aren't we always choosing? If you think about your head for a minute, I'm always making a thought. The thought is always connected to a choice. It's a decision. It's a perspective. It's an angle. It's a what am I trying to say? I'm always choosing. And there are 2 birds. You know that song, Birds Do It, Bees Do It? They're doing it right outside the window. These little, can you hear them cheeping? So cute. I'm always choosing. So what are we choosing between? Love or fear? Light or hell? Ease or stress? Yuck or yum? We're always making a choice. Bad or good? It sucks. What did man say? Embrace the suck? Yeah. This place sucks. This place is a mess. Whatever. We're always making a choice. And it's kind of like there is a light in you that's always on. You are connected. There is a Christ consciousness in you. A lot of people teach that way. Muji, if you know Muji, this a beloved teacher of mine as well, Muji, he talks about the Christ self a lot. This one in us is alive and lit up and aligned. She's there. He's there. That light is there. So what if today we practice choosing? I never want to ask you to try things that don't feel right for you. So find your right way. Translate what I'm saying. Make it fit for your fulfillment and joy today, okay? For your ease. I'll just talk to you how I'm doing it, and I invite you to do it your way, because that's the only way I care about is your way for you. What if today we invited a practice to stay aligned with the Christ self in us, with the light in us, with the intuitive in us, with the lover in us? Bex, you were talking about our the way we can be so hard on ourselves, and we work with forgiveness, but there is a next level to that practice, isn't there? There is a much bigger practice, and that is to leave it behind, to leave it completely behind, to get on that elevator and go higher and say, I'm going to bless that. And that's the only way I'm going to be able to leave that. It won't be stuck to me then. I'm going to, bless it. So we're always making a choice. And I can choose between weakness. This comes from the Course in Miracles. If you like that book, if you have that book, chapter 31, I can choose between weakness or the strength of the Christ in me. How about that? You ever feel weak? Weak is, fear. Number one, husband. Let me know if I can share a little about our conversation this morning. Yeah, give me an old school thumbs up or something. But we can go with our weakness. We can go with our fear stories. We can go with our I suck and nobody loves me story. Nobody likes these things I do. We can go with, we get a reminder in the mail and we get scared all over again. The IRS sent me a letter the other day, Okay, no, it was not about the toast, but okay. You get a letter in the mail from the IRS and it turns out to be nothing, but just seeing that thing gets me scared, So I can choose my weakness. That's what I would call the weakness. I can go with that energy, or I could go with the energy of love. I could go with the energy of the Christ self in me. Behold. Behold. I should just go around going, behold, I make all things new. Behold, behold, IRS, behold. It's it's okay. And Jeff was saying, thank you. Jeff was saying he gets not an annual, it's every 3 months, the letter that he goes back for another bladder cancer test. And every time he sees the letter, he gets scared. And, he would not call it scared, but he feels tight, tense. And, sometimes we talk about how are we ever going to be free if you need to be tested for life? How are we going to get free of this? Because if we just keep staying here, like we're good for the next 3 months, and then we're like, yay, we're good for the next 3 months, and then the letter comes again, and then we're scared again. What are we doing? We're not going anywhere. We're not traveling. We're staying put. We're just moving here, and then 3 months later we're back here, and then 3 months later we're back here. And did I go anywhere? Not really. So this is our practice today. And please just take it pick your own stuff for you, relevant for you, your family, your beloveds, yourself. Convert what I'm talking about to your own life. That's the way it's going to be so powerful, okay? So let's run it by the Christ in us. And the Christ in us doesn't have to try. No, there is no try for the Christ in us. Of course, now I'm thinking of Yoda, but it just is, it just is. It's just lovely and beautiful and whole and light-filled and okay. So that's the reality underneath the worry, underneath the fear, underneath the judgment, underneath the anger. Any of you screamers out there, and then you feel super regretful. I can get kind of snippy too, and I can feel very stressed about that snippiness and very remorseful later and have to apologize a lot. So I really work on this in myself because it's like I'm not honoring my needs here, and I get overdone, and then I snap. So, we can learn to bless these things. We can learn to go with this energy and be in that grace. Thank you, my friends. Good. I appreciate it. Yeah. I love it. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Good. It doesn't have to try, and there was a line I kept reading a little in the Course, and it was saying under choose once again is the heading, if you have the book. It's so funny how the later chapters are very easy to read. So I sometimes wonder, The beginning is very dense and challenging, but the last ones are very easy. I sometimes wonder if, like, as the channel, Helen was a channeler of this information, you know, as she kept healing and revealing her true self and aligning to what was true for her, there was less and less resistance, and her message was so clear. And don't you find that about yourself too, if you go back to things you 10 years ago, things you said or did? You know, I have an entire Vimeo account full of talks I've given going back 20 years. Let's just be glad they're not public. Yeah. So, but you know, we get better and better and better. And yeah, so we don't have to try, but the Christ in us doesn't have to try. It just, you know, it's just going around in a place of ease and joy. Here goes another junk man this time. Anyone got some junk? Put it in the truck. So, what's so interesting is the strength of Christ. You know, the strength, if you don't mind that term, the strength of Christ is within you. It's always there. It's always strong. It's always on. It's always activated. It's always present. It's always listening. It's always alert. It's always watching. It's always there. So the practice today, the question is, will you choose that? And when you find your fear, and you will, because hi, we're normal peeps, right? When you find your judgment, because hi, who is not judging something, you know? When you get mad at someone else, because hello, who is not getting mad at somebody else occasionally? Catch it. And maybe you remember the practice today. You know, maybe you'll remember the practice. I tell you a lot. I keep my old business cards around and write on them, write notes to self. Look, see? Now, some of you don't have a bra to stick this in today. And the truth is, I only wear them for the call. But I'll tuck it in there. And next time something happens, I'm going to say, what is the message of the day today? Oh, yeah. I'm going to run this by the Christ self in me. Run this weakness past the Christ self, because what we choose, we make real. And so it's not that if you get frustrated with someone or you get mad at yourself and you're so mean to yourself sometimes, it's not that it won't happen, but what action you choose to take from there is everything. Isn't it? Isn't it everything? What action you choose to take. Has anybody else spent half an afternoon just beating up on themselves? You know, that's something that happens to me, and it's through that practice that I have gotten better at not doing that to myself. It's through that experience that I have learned how to come here and talk to you about it pretty effortlessly, without embarrassment, knowing it's going to help you. Yeah, thank you, yeah. So we're going to run this energy by the Christ consciousness in us, or whatever your heart light. I love that too, from E.T. Phone home, right here. Let's go. Let's practice today, because your truest nature is fantabulous, my friend, and there is no need to be in a state of fear or weakness or terror. So what we choose, we make real. And what we want to make real is what I just said, that roll back 30 seconds, what I just said there. You're beautiful, amazing, talented, fortunate. The sun is shining on you always, and you are always held and loved. I've been reading a little bit in the Bible. We call it the Bible. I don't know why, but I do, but it's old joke, but the Bible. And Psalm 91, man, if you read there, you can Google it if you don't have a Bible, a Bible. But it talks in there such a fierce game about the Christ in you, turning your weakness over to that one in you. And it's like, we are just going to crush any energy that is not light-filled today. We're just going to crunch it and pulverize it. It is not going to be happening for us. So if we practice, if we remember and choose. Now, look, if you tuck your business card into your bra or wherever, your hair, boys, you have to figure it out. You can stick it in somewhere behind your ear, your back pocket. Oh, you always have a business pocket. Tuck it in, pull it out. What is my practice today? What is my practice today? Yeah, the time spent reeling gets shorter and shorter, and thank you for my next point there, Miss Bex. The trials we face, they're all opportunities. You're facing a trial. When you're hard on yourself, when you're mean to yourself, you're facing a trial. You're having a trial. You're having a test. You're having a period where you are being examined and you want all the stars. And all the stars come from saying to yourself, or the A+, hi, this is a practice. I know I'm having a hard time. I'll say, Robbie, I call myself Robbie. Robbie, you're having a hard time today, aren't you? Yeah. I'll come and look, yeah, I'm having a hard time today. What's going on? I don't want to say. Okay. A lot of times I'll say that I don't even want to go there. Let's not go there. Yeah. And okay, good job. But remember, this isn't the whole thing. Okay, I remember. You know, that's how you get the A+. And yes, the sooner you remember to do that, Bex, the sooner you move through it. A couple of years ago, went through months of panic attacks all night long. I don't know why. You know, we tried to go on vacation. We tried to go to the jazz festival. We went camping. We did, taking our walks. I started eating so pristine. No more pizza and beer. No more martinis. For just a short period, I took a break of it. Nothing got better. Nothing changed it. It wasn't until I started talking to myself in the dark and saying, hey, putting the finger out at night saying, stop, come on now. What's really real here? The light in me is the really real thing. Everything else is a story I'm telling. But, we're going to make it real if we focus. So, don't be so hard on yourself. You're always progressing. Always. Here comes some kind of spray truck with the sprayer. Little sacred cleanser, anyone? So, yeah. So I hope that message feels powerful for you today. And I wanted to read a little poetry to you. We haven't done that yet. This is such a beautiful poem. So, wherever you are, take a deep breath and just have a listen. This is the invitation from Araya Mountain Dreamer. Ready? It doesn't interest me what you do for a living. I want to know what you ache for, and if you dare to dream of meeting your heart's longing. It doesn't interest me how old you are. I want to know if you will risk looking like a fool for love, for your dream, for the adventure of being alive. It doesn't interest me what planets are squaring your moon. I want to know if you've touched the center of your own sorrow, if you've been opened by life's betrayals, or have become shriveled and closed from fear of further pain. I want to know if you can sit with pain, mine or your own, without moving to hide it or fade it or fix it. I want to know if you can be with joy, mine or your own. If you can dance with wildness and let the ecstasy fill you to the tip of your fingers and toes without cautioning us to be careful, to be realistic, to remember the limitations of being human. It doesn't interest me if the story you're telling me is true. I want to know if you can disappoint another to be true to yourself. if you can bear the accusation of betrayal and not betray your own soul, if you can be faithless and therefore trustworthy. I want to know if you can see beauty even when it's not pretty every day, and if you can source your own life from its presence. I want to know if you can live with failure, yours and mine, and still stand on the edge of the lake and shout to the silver of the full moon, yes! We have a full moon right now. Yes! Yes! It doesn't interest me to know where you live or how much money you have. I want to know if you can get up after the nights of grief and despair, weary and bruised to the bone, and do what needs to be done to feed the children. It doesn't interest me who you know or how you came to be here. I want to know if you will stand in the center of the fire with me and not shrink back. It doesn't interest me where or what or with whom you've studied. I want to know what sustains you from the inside when all else falls away. I want to know if you can be alone with yourself, and if you truly like the company you keep in the empty moments. Beautiful. So, beloveds, you are a precious, precious gem, sacred, sacred being. Be so very kind and gentle with yourself today. I'm going to end with a little healing like we've been doing. Practice with me today, and if I can help, I will. Just reach out, message me here. Always listen and receive in the spirit of healing. And let's do just a little healing as we go out. Thank you, my friend. So if you're not interested in receiving the healing, just go like that. That poem, by the way, interesting little story there. Oriah met David White at one of his poetry workshops. David White, the poet, who wrote a poem very similar to this one and taught the poetry writing workshop. And she came up with a poem that kind of kicked its ass all over the world, right? And he was so very encouraging, so loving about that, that sometimes we can remember we don't own any of this light we share, and we can learn to be free with our love and our offerings. We can learn to be free and trust the wisdom of that light. You're here to serve the light, and where it goes and what happens with it is none of your business, really, none of my business. And I love that, the message of that poem. But I love remembering that even more, that, none of us owns this one corner of the light we're sharing. And if people take what we offer and it evolves into their own beautiful essence, that is A+ back to us for sharing. 5 stars for us for sharing. We're doing our job. So, for whoever needed to hear that today, there you go. These replays go up to YouTube every day around 2 Chicago time. And I appreciate your support in any way you feel called. Get the word out, share with a friend. Yeah, so lots of love, so many blessings. Comes another truck. Thank you. I hope you have a beautiful day. I'm going to ring the bell a little.